Hey everybody, it's Denise. So this is actually the third chapter in a series I'm doing called Me and My Eating Disorder. And this one's a little different because I actually want to challenge you and also share some things that have happened in my life. Just a time to really get real. So let me start by saying that you guys may have seen my picture earlier. I have been an on-air radio personality going on 26 years. And I know I must have started so young, right? But here's the thing. I originally went to the School of Contemporary Radio and Television to be a newscaster. I wanted to be on television. And then what happened was that I'm in school. I was one of the only students in the class to have a job right off the bat, on air in radio. Within 2 months of being in school, I was still taking classes. And I did really well. But around that time was when I started the beginnings of bulimia. And so I was offered the opportunity to go to New York City and interview for a job with MTV. And I don't really share that with people because I can't believe at the time that I was so insecure and so doubting of my self-worth that I canceled that interview. And don't get me wrong, God uses everything for His glory and our good. I'm not sitting here regretting not being on MTV, and who said I would have gotten the job? The reason I'm sharing it is because I was afraid. And being in radio, you are behind a microphone. And people used to laugh. Like I could be talking to my husband or a boyfriend at the time, arguing, crying, and then I'd have to talk, and I could literally switch on a different persona, get on the radio, talk, make people smile, laugh, give away prizes, and then go right back to my real life. Which is an analogy to what my life is, or was, I should say. Is I looked great on the outside, but I was dying on the inside. So not everyone shares my struggle. As you guys know, or may not know, I had a 30-plus year struggle with food in different areas, anorexia, bulimia, and binge eating. But the last 23 years, not now, I've been healed for a while, but that was when I didn't know how to share what was going on in my life. So it started, and instead of talking to someone about it, instead of admitting that I had a problem, this is hard to talk about, I kept it inside. And what happened is it got worse because I had no one to talk to. And I allowed it to just consume me. Look at it like if you have a beautiful garden and you let there's one weed in that garden, it's beautiful, but then you never tend to that garden. And that weed is still there. Over time, it will destroy the entire garden. And that, for me, is what happened with my addiction to food. So I know not everyone has problems with food. You might be listening and saying, well, that's not me. And that's okay, but I want you to be real, just like I'm being real. Everyone has struggles in their life. Everyone has those secrets that they keep buried deep in their closet that they don't want anyone to know about. So I'm going to tell you a little story. It's one that my church pastor shared that I've never been able to forget, and it really stuck with me. And I'm going to condense it and make it short, but it's about a man that has this beautiful home. And Jesus comes over, and the man is showing Jesus the home. And he's like, look at this beautiful kitchen and the dining room and bedrooms and the bathroom. And Jesus tries to open the closet, and the door's locked. And he said, what about the closet? And the guy's like, well, don't worry about the closet. It's just a closet. But look, we've got skylights. We've got a convection oven. And Jesus is like, yeah, but what about this closet? And the guy's like, it's small. It's insignificant. It just doesn't matter. So long story short, at the end of it's like a video that he showed. And it always makes me emotional because in the end, the man just shows Jesus all the different attributes of the house. And Jesus keeps coming back to that closet. And in the end, the man hands Jesus the key to the closet. And Jesus opens the closet and the two walk in together. And what that symbolizes is that transparency is where healing really begins. That's where it starts. If you're not able to share what's going on in your life, and I'm going to be really transparent here. So I've been a fitness coach now for almost 4 years. I got certified in nutrition and fitness about 2 years ago. And when I started my fitness journey, exercising and trying to eat healthy, I still had struggles with my eating disorder. And even once I was in recovery and healed, I still didn't share that I suffered. And you might ask me why? Because I was ashamed and because I was embarrassed. But how was I ever going to take the experience I had and the struggle I had and use it for God's glory and use it to grow? And even for me, being able to share is the way that we make a difference in people's lives. But I was so worried about what people would think. She's a fitness coach that couldn't handle food. But you know what? I'm actually in an accountability group right now. And I'm going to give a shout out to Curtis Gilbreth and Charles Leslie. I could say his name, that would be nice. But I'm going to give them a shout out because this group has really been mind-opening. And we had to choose a topic. And I could have chosen an easy topic. I could have chose something like my faith or something like, living in the country. But they told us to step out of our comfort zone. And that meant making these videos and doing these blog posts were going to be tough for me. And so I had to choose something that was really going to make me step out. And I was going to make a difference. And that's why I chose, for the first time ever, to share that my name is Denise Marcello and that I struggled with an eating disorder. And I still, at times, turn to food when I shouldn't, in a way I shouldn't. And that's something that I continually work on. I'm no longer consumed by it. I'm not in a stronghold or bondage anymore. But like anybody else, I have my times where I don't need food and I turn to it. But I'm working on that every single day. And I just want you to know, no matter what your struggle is today, that you're not alone. That you simply need to reach out. It doesn't have to be to me. It can be to someone in your family, your spouse, your significant other, a friend, a fellow churchgoer, someone in your small group, whatever your walk might be. But the sooner that you share, if it's down deep and no one can see it, they can't help you. And if you really want to overcome and you really want to emerge stronger, you have to let go. And letting go, the first step is stepping out and admitting that you have a problem. I never would be healed today if I hadn't shared. And then from sharing came healing. And then from healing, that's why I am where I am today. So I just hope this message, if it helps one person, it was worthwhile. I'm so thankful that you took the time to check this out.